Hi everyone, this is Kiran. I also go by KP. Today I'm going to be demoing Hedera Wallet Snap that we've been working on for quite some time. And we already have our documentation live. You can go over to docs.tuum.tech/Hedera-Wallet-Snap. There you can learn all about what a snap is and what is Hedera Wallet Snap, how it differs from other snaps that are already available out there. So yeah, let's get started. So I will go ahead and describe a little bit about what Snap is, just to get you guys an overview. So a Snap is a plugin mechanism by MetaMask that was released about 2 months ago. It's officially live, and you can install it. It basically allows you to extend the functionalities of Ethereum. So what that means is, you could build a snap that lets you interact with the Bitcoin blockchain or Litecoin or Dogecoin or XRP or Hedera. And so today we're actually going to be talking about a Hedera Wallet Snap, it's called. We have been working on this for quite some time, and this basically lets you interact with the Hedera Ledger using your MetaMask wallet. It supports a lot of options. For instance, it lets you import your private key, even if you're not you can already connect to the snap using your currently connected MetaMask wallet. But in addition to that, we also let users import their private key directly, and all of that is secured through MetaMask itself, because the way that snaps work is they execute all the code in a sandbox environment, and all the storage that happens, it's also stored in a secure storage that is handled by MetaMask. So nothing leaves the snap, so to speak. All right, so let's go ahead and get the demo going. You can learn all about the snap by going over to this documentation again. All right, so first of all, I already have a local version of this snap running. So the way that it's going to work is right now I have MetaMask Flask, which is a developer version of MetaMask, because in order to have any snap available on the regular MetaMask, it needs to be approved and it needs to be put onto the MetaMask store first. And so we're just testing it locally here. All right, so the first thing, you can choose testnet. Right now that's the only thing you can do. You can also choose mainnet and preview net here, but I'm going to stick with testnet because I already have some test HBAR here. All right, let's go ahead and connect. So this is how the interaction will. So one thing to note is snaps by themselves, users will not be directly interacting with the snaps, but rather they will need to interact. The only way to interact with the snaps is through a third-party website. And this example, we already built an example website that does come with the snap repository, so it's all going to be open source. But you can build your own website, your own application that utilizes this Hedera Wallet Snap that we have built, so that you can build your own beautiful applications and you can customize it to however you want. Now in the future, there will be a dedicated page for each snap within MetaMask, but that's later down the road. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I currently have my MetaMask connected to this account right here. This is my test account. You can see it started to E5F. Right now I have 20 HBAR. All right, let's go ahead and connect, because that is the first thing we're going to do. So when I click on connect, it's going to display a MetaMask notification dialog box. So it says localhost here, but in the production release, it will say something like, Hashgraph with Hedera Wallet Snap, something like that. All right, let's go ahead and connect. And here, it's telling you what permissions that you want to allow here. So we're going to be accessing the Ethereum provider, so we can access the internet because we need that from within our snap to interact with the Hedera Ledger. And then there's also a permission that lets your snaps communicate with other snaps. There's a whole bunch of permissions. For this, we have basically the default permission here. All right, so let's go ahead and install that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now it's ready to use. So you can see here, if you were to go over on MetaMask, if you go to settings and then go to snaps, you see here that I already have my snap. So I can even disable it in the future. I can see the description. I can see the permissions, and I can disconnect from this website. I can remove this snap. The snap is called Hedera Wallet. But yeah, I can do all sorts of things. All right, so first, this is our very simple API here called Hello. It basically does a very simple thing. It connects to the account, and then it displays a hello world. So let's go ahead and call that API. So what's happening here is this is our first time, so it's going to talk about the risks, using Hedera Wallet. It does not have access. It just says that, the snap itself, like we as developers don't have access to the private keys because everything is stored inside the Hedera Wallet Snap inside MetaMask. So yeah, that's what it says. And then, so the API lets you connect to all the accounts that you currently have. So let me go and connect to all my accounts. Now this dialog box that we're about to see here, so this is the content that is being pushed through the Hello API through our Snap. And so this is all it does. It doesn't do anything. This is just to demonstrate a simple API, a Snap API, Snap interaction that looks like from a website. So what's happening is, you can look at the architecture. Sorry, if we go to introduction here, we can look at the example a little bit here. So we can see here that the way that it works is our Snap is instead of get account info, we're calling the Hello API. So the first thing that happens is, okay, we're connected to the MetaMask account number 1. We're basically calling the API of Hedera Wallet Snap here from the website. And then the MetaMask knows that what account it is connected to, and then it basically sends a request to the Snap. And then on the Snap, it basically calls the Hello API handler, and from there it gets information from the Snap state, and then on the Snap state itself, all the private keys are stored, and so on and so forth, and then it gets back, and then according to whichever account, if it needs to sign transactions, it's going to use the private key to sign transactions, for instance, whenever you're sending HBAR to other address. But if not, for this hello world, it's not really doing anything. It's basically displaying the MetaMask dialog box here, so that's all it's doing. So this is the flow of how the Snap is working. Now, one thing to mention is that with this address, you can see here I have an address that starts with 9B64, but if you were to take a look at the account, MetaMask account, it's actually, I'm connected to 2E5F. So what's going on here? So one thing is MetaMask snaps don't have direct access to this account that we're connected to. However, MetaMask, they do allow each snap has its own entropy. So what's happening is we're actually using the snap entropy, and then using the connected account. So it's very unique to this 2E5 for this account. We're using all of that to generate a whole new wallet that lives inside the Snap. So in a way, whatever wallet that you have, Snap wallet that you have here, it's not exactly the MetaMask account that you're connected to, but rather it is associated with that. So next time, if you were to go to a different browser, as long as you're connected to that account, and then you come in here, connect, you're going to get the exact same address because each snap has its own entropy. And so using that and the MetaMask address that you're connected to, we basically derive the private key to be used in the Snap. Now, I already have HBAR. If you, since basically everyone is aware that on Hedera, you need to have some kind of transaction made for the account to be active to have an account ID. So this is why I was using the existing account here. So I already have 999 HBAR just to demonstrate. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen if we were to try to connect to an address to an account that is not active, that does not have an account ID yet. But for now, let's go ahead and interact with these different APIs. So here, ignore this external account for now. So this is another API, get account info. Again, you can check out all the information about what this API does, how you can use how you can integrate the code to call it. So it's pretty easy. And then lastly, we also have a demo, live demo working, and you need to open this demo on MetaMask Flask when you have MetaMask Flask, and then this demo should also work, and we're going to see about that later. All right, so let's go ahead and call this get account info. So what it's doing is it's basically retrieving the account ID of the currently connected account, which is going to be this, and then it's basically going to reach out to Hedera Ledger node, and then it's going to retrieve the account information from there. All right, so let's go ahead and call that. Once that's called, all right, so we're gonna see something here again. Now you can read about this, but the gist of it is, in order to look up the account information from a regular Hedera Ledger node, it does the transaction actually does cost some amount of HBAR. It's very tiny, but it does cost you some amount of HBAR just to get the account information from the Hedera node directly. Now, if you were to pass in your own mirror node, what is going to happen is the snap is actually, instead of reaching out to the Hedera node, Ledger node, it's going to reach out to, it's going to use the mirror node that you have passed in to retrieve the exact same account information. Now, there's a couple of advantages to using that. For one, you don't need to pay any kind of fee, because we're going to be using the mirror node URL to directly fetch information. And the other thing is, with this, if you were to directly try to get account information directly from the Hedera Ledger node, it actually does not contain any of the token balances if you have some tokens. And for that, you will need to use mirror node. So, I will go ahead and show both of those use cases here. So for now, I am going to pay this amount of HBAR for the query cost. So let's go ahead and approve. And it's doing something in the background. This is not showing here, but let's go ahead and check out the console log. So here you can see it's supposed to display this, but it's not working right now. But yeah, this is basically our account information that we got from the Hedera Ledger node. So basic stuff. Now, if I were to, let me actually do 100. Maybe that's why I'm not seeing it. Okay, let me go ahead and type in the actual mirror node. So mirror node dot, oh, forgot the name. Mirror node, testnode.mirrornode.hedera.com. Now, if you were to pass in the mirror node, you can pass this as part of the API. And if you look at the documentation, you can see that. All right, so now when we do that, it's actually going to try to retrieve the information from the mirror node. And so let's wait a second here. Oh, failed to fetch. All right, well, did I type in correctly? No, I did not. Okay. Let me go ahead and do that again. All right. For some reason, it's not displaying here, so I'm just gonna. So this is the account information that we're getting right here. So you see here, this is the information that we got through the mirror node. We're gonna see how it works when there's token balance. This one doesn't have any token balance, so it looks exactly the same. But anyways, so yeah, that's what it is. You can also pass in another account ID if you wanted to check out some other account ID. So let's go ahead and check out this one right here. So I can actually check out. I can actually try to retrieve account ID from for someone else, not my own. So I can pass that in, and then let's go ahead and inspect again. And you can see here, this one has a whole bunch of information like account ID, which we passed, and the tokens and all that stuff. All right, and we're getting the token information because we're passing in the mirror node. If we were to not pass that in, again, it's going to try to interact with the Hedera Ledger node directly, and it's going to cost us something here, but we can see that in action here. And let me inspect. And there you go. It does not have any of the token balances because the Hedera Ledger node does not contain that information directly. Rather, you would have to use mirror node to get that information. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and try to connect to an account that is not active, just to see it in action. So this one, again, remember that I may have 10 HBAR for this account, but my Snap account is going to look something different. So let's go ahead and try to get the account information. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and try to connect to this. So it's going to directly tell us here that this Hedera account is not yet active on testnet. Please activate it by sending some HBAR to this account. So this is our EVM address here. So what I can do now is I can go back to account number 2. And then I know that this one has 999 something HBAR. So I'm going to try to send it to this account, EVM address, a Hedera account that does not exist. So I'm just going to send like a very small amount of HBAR. Actually, you know, I'm just going to send 10 because I have a lot of HBAR to send. All right. After I send this, so this is another API again. This is used to send HBAR between accounts. So it's telling me, okay, do you want to execute the transaction to 10 HBAR? You can also send, you will be able to send any kind of token in the future, but for now, only HBAR is supported. All right, let's approve. We can actually see the console log again to see that whether it was successful. All right, it was successful. Now, if I were to go back to log in to this account, I should have 10 HBAR. So let me go ahead and connect to that. Now, I'm using Hello API to connect, but honestly, you can connect to the account using any of the API. And, you know, if you're not connected, it'll error out, but, you know, you don't have to use Hello World API to connect. You can use any of the APIs available. Looks like it's connected because, you know, it's active. So it's displaying the information, the dialog box from Hello API. So it's working nicely. All right, so yeah, you can learn. So that is a very small demo. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show, so we mentioned that, in addition to being able to connect to MetaMask account with the Snap, we can also connect to an external account, which is a non-MetaMask account. So for instance, if you have a wallet, like on Hashpack, Blade Wallet, or any other wallet, and if you know the private key, you can actually try to connect to that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to connect to an account that I know. So 0.0.5862850. So this is a test account. And, you know, by default, we will assume that it's an extra account. But if it's, you know, the other kind of like elliptic curve ED25519, you need to enter that in. For now, let's go ahead and see that. I will need the private key here, so I already have this here. Don't worry, it's a test account, so it doesn't matter to me. All right, let's go ahead and try to connect to this external account. So again, this is an API. Like you can pass in a parameter to connect to an external account this way. And you can read about that later. But for now, let's just go ahead and connect to an external account. Now we're trying to connect to an account, a non-MetaMask account. So let's go ahead and try to do that. And the external account flag, you can pass it to any API again, but here just for demo, I'm using it. All right, let's go. It's asked for the private key because, you know, we need to enter the private key to connect to this account. And here you can see that the private key, you need to enter it on the MetaMask dialog box itself. So that means that this does not leave MetaMask, so which is pretty secure. Let's go ahead and try to import that and see what happens. All right, so error while trying to get the account. Could not connect. You passed this curve, but it was derived using ED25519. So this is the error that you're going to get. So it lets you connect to both of these type of curves. So let's just go ahead and change that so that we can do it again. All right. All right, so it looks like something is happening. Okay, so we know that it costs some amount of HBAR to get the account information. So, well, if we got that far, that means everything worked nicely and we were able to connect to this account right here. Now, you may be wondering, like what's going to happen if I were to just connect to my previous account, which is, you can see here, this is my external account that we just connected. If I were to connect to our previous account, So let me just connect to my other account. Whoops, clicked it too many times. All right, so this is our account ID. Now, if I were to connect to that, this is my MetaMask Snap account. So if I were to do that, it will automatically know that, because we remember that all the information is stored within the Snap state, so it will not even ask for any private key here. So look at that. All right, so one thing to note is that here, whenever we're sending HBAR, you can actually type in both account ID and an EVM address. So let's go ahead and try to type in this right here, and it should just work. We support both account ID and EVM address. Same thing for account information when you're trying to get the account information. Look at that, it's working. So let's go ahead and approve that. Let's just see how it's working here on console. There you go, success. All right, well, that's a small demo showcasing all the different things you can do. You can take a look at all the things that we currently do. We can control Hedera accounts that deal with both account IDs and EVM addresses. You can retrieve account information, retrieve it from Hedera Ledger node, Mirror node. You can view the balance, view the tokens balance. I can actually, let me see. So this one, actually, let me try to get this account information, 0.58628850. All right, let's go ahead and try to get the account information for that. Remember that you can get, if you pass in the Mirror node URL, it's going to be free. So this is just FYI. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So you see here, this account actually has some tokens here. It's a fungible token. I have 2 of the tokens. It displays it. So, the API already gets all the tokens, pretty nicely displays it. So yeah, that's the demo. So in the future, we will have a lot more features. Feel free to come over to the roadmap here, what we have planned. You'll be able to do all sorts of things, like interacting with the Hedera token service, doing all sorts of things, like also being able to interact with the Hedera file service, smart contract service, consensus service, all those kind of things. One thing to note is we're using, from within the Snap, we're actually using we're using the Hedera SDK directly. So we're not going through the Hedera JSON-RPC Relay, which is a different way of connecting to the Hedera account, but that is very limited in that it's only like, you will not be able to interact with the Hedera file service and token service and those kind of things. So, this is a comprehensive Snap that eventually we hope to support every single API for Hedera, so that you can build websites for your users using, supporting native Hedera wallet, native Hedera functionalities directly. Hope that was helpful. See you in the next one.